Hello beautiful people, and welcome to the Black Wallet ZM. If you have already subscribed, thank you for coming back yet to watch another video. If you are stumbling across this video for the very first time, my name is Mwansa Chambalile. I am on a journey to building a generational legacy, and a legacy for me means sharing my journey to inspire other people to stay accountable as well. I share everything related to personal development, building generational wealth, that is your investment, your career, or your business. So yes, join the family. A few weeks ago, actually last week, I had the honor of being interviewed as an alumni student of Jiangsu University by the Olive TV. In that interview, I shared my journey as a student in Jiangsu University and just give an update of my life now. And finishing that video brought a deep reflection and really is the inspiration of why I'm sharing this video with you, to draw more information or for us to really dive into it. I don't really want this to be long, but preferably I would divide this video into a 3-part series. First being my experiences in Jiangsu University, things that I wish I would have done better. The second being what I learned as a student that can be applicable in our lives now as we build a legacy. Last but not the least, advice I would give to a younger me. So let's get into the video. Before I get into sharing what lessons or regrets that I have to reflect on, I really wanted to draw strength into some of the things that I achieved, which really can be an inspiration to somebody who's a student, somebody who's starting up in a business, that there's a foundation and everything grows out of that. My experience in Jiangsu University is really a testimony. If I should tell you, the first thing I would say would be graduation. For me, graduation was my biggest achievement. Firstly, I'll take you back to my high school. I do not have any scientific background, and I graduated as a civil engineer, bachelor's in civil engineering. My journey was quite challenging and didn't come so easy. You know, it's easy for somebody to say I graduated and people applaud, but me, when I say I graduated, I just didn't graduate for the sake of the name, the process, a different me that came out. I graduated as the top 5 excellent student out of 35 plus students. And like I said, I do not have any scientific background. You know, where people did A-levels, people did the advanced mathematics, I didn't. And the crazy thing is, I was the second batch into civil engineering. So obviously, even with my lecturers, you know, it's a foreign country. I studied in China, by the way, and they are practicing their skill in English using you as an example or you as a mock, you know. So when I say I graduated, I really find that as an achievement. So I graduated as an excellent student. I was awarded the Anxin Weiguan scholarship because of being an excellent student. On 2 occasions, I was awarded an excellent, a 3rd class excellent student. Like I mentioned, I had no scientific background, and we were like 5 women in my class. So for me to get all these awards really was something that I look back and I'm proud of myself. When it comes to my academic performance, I believe I gave it my all and really was the foundation of who I am today. I am also and was the founder of the AEIS, which still is in existence, an association for engineering students in Jiangsu University, for international students, that is. And during my time, I organized amazing events such as the WOW Club, where we taught students how to code, how to design, and any elements of engineering. We also did the science fair, which was such a success, and I don't know if it's still being done now. Reflecting on that, I realized, wait, you actually started building a legacy way longer than you could even imagine. And for some time I was in shock, like, oh wait, I never even remembered this. But that interview gave me really a reflection of my academic contribution to the school, which I look back and I'm very proud of me. Aside the academic performance, I was quite, I'll say this with emphasis, a hustler. And I look back on my journey really with pride, because much of what I was doing then is really being helpful to my journey. I would bake, I would plait hair, I would do people's nails, I would cook, I would really find every opportunity I could to make my own money and not depend on my parents. That's one thing that I look back and I say, wow, I am proud of you. Last but not the least, I would also love to share my religious contribution as a student. Like on the faith side, I was really active as a way of giving back. We are in a foreign country. People do need faith. Things get tough. You know, there are situations where people are unable to pay fees. You need to believe that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So with regards to my contribution, my Christian contribution while I was a student, I was quite active. In Bible study, you would find me. If we had to do materials, you would find me there. Evangelism, very active. Choir, very active. Choreography, I was there. And I look back and say, there are several times I want to give up. But because I'm rooted in the concept of, look, you've achieved these things. You had a foundation, a strong foundation, that is, I find myself still standing strong. Those are just some of the highlights I wanted to share with you with regards to what I would call my success as a student. I also want to dive into what I wish I could have done better, which I'm calling my regrets. But regrets are good. They make you think back and realize you could have done better. What can you do now? One of which, I wish I began personal branding a long time. Most of my inspiration as a brand for Her Body Girl comes from Gymshark. He started his brand in 2012. In 2012, I was a student in Jiangsu University, focusing more on the hustling. But if I gave my business a name and ran through it, can you imagine what type of name or what I would have managed to achieve for my brand? People say, no, time is everything, timing is everything. When you have the opportunity to begin something, it's always important you reflect back and say, you are the person delaying it. Personal branding is something that I look back and I wish I started earlier. A great example I would give, maybe you probably have come across the stylish maid, Natalie, right? She was also a student in Jiangsu University, and from Jiangsu University she started her YouTube and has built her brand. Looking back, I wish I started my brand earlier. The second would be traveling. I'll combine traveling and utilizing my vacation time. Traveling would have been something that I definitely would have loved to do, and I regret I didn't take on the opportunities, mostly because I was well invested in just being in a comfortable space. Comfortable in that I'm okay in my room the whole vacation if I'm not going home. Actually, I never went home through my studies. But then, can you imagine the cultural experience I would have enjoyed, the memories I would have created? Looking back, that's something that I wish I had done better. Utilize my vacation time. I could honestly have used my vacation time to learn a skill, to start my brand, to travel across China and go maybe to different factories where I could source supply for what I'm doing now. Most of my time in vacation was let's watch movies, 8 to 8. I'll probably even be waking up 12, because I slept late watching movies. Looking back, if you are even watching this video, time is a factor that you never end when it's spent. And that spending could be on something well invested or something that's just like running water. The choice is really ours. And my advice on looking back, I really could have used that time. And my biggest regret could be your motivation today. If you're a student, if you are starting a business, you're full of procrastination, it calls for action, and I could have done that better. The school did provide so many opportunities, but I also feel I was surrounded with people who were focused more on the academic part and the religious part. So you'll find that I was so active and well invested in these areas. Had I also looked at the other flip side and considered surrounding myself with people who really took advantage of the opportunities the school provided, my name would be on the record of so many things achieved. And most of us are really in a position where life is happening to you and you just can't wait to get out of it. That was me. I just wanted my school degree, I'm out of here. But now, if I had experienced the whole process of being a student, enjoying the platforms that were given to us by our university, I believe I could have expanded my network even better. Another regret is not being active physically. By the way, if you haven't seen my transformation pictures, it will be inserted here. So throughout my journey, when I started my fitness journey, I was at 118, and now I am around 70, 71, 72. And most of that weight came from just sleeping, doing nothing, being too comfortable with where I was at. Looking back, I wish I was more active in sport. It's an investment that I've realized as I grow up is key to a healthy me, key to being more creative and innovative. So I wish I had invested more in sport. Another regret would be mastering Chinese, especially after I had graduated and moved to another city. I was surrounded by more of the Chinese 24/7, but I never bothered to master Chinese. I could have learned the business side of Chinese. I was okay with just ni hao and my basic communication skills. So looking back, when an opportunity is presented, I really do not take it for granted. I had a very close friend of mine who could play almost all the instruments. He could play the guitar, he could play the piano. I had another friend who could play the bass guitar, another one who could play drums. I was so invested in playing the bass guitar, and I started actually. With time, I just said, oh, this is not for me. I think it's hard. And the person was looking at me like, you can do this, right? So that's another regret I have. And constantly, especially with the instrument, I love the guitar. I love the bass guitar. And I'm constantly looking at it like, by now, you could have mastered this art. My regrets are not really for me to feel bad, but for me to take better decisions, for you and I to take better decisions. Like I always say, we are on a journey to building a legacy, and a legacy is not just kept by wealth. Maybe a company is passed on to another, your career, you innovate something, it's passed on to another. Your character is the greatest legacy someone can remember you for. And excuses, procrastination, holds us back from achieving those things. I wanted to share this with you just for you and I to hold ourselves accountable. A reflection for me to look into the future with better intentions for myself, and I wish you do the same.